Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to deliver on what we have for you. Obviously, the court was short today, and the question is what is happening around us while we are busy glued to this case. It must not take away from what we, as the society, we should know. So we will update you accordingly to what we think indeed is something that you should know, and we will put our opinion. And this should be said in advance. No one is going to be attacked, but we are just going to put our opinion, and we're going to try to be unbiased as much as we can. These days it is difficult to be unbiased, but yes, Emily, we invite you. It's Friday. If you are doing your stuff, do your stuff. Take it closer to you and make sure that there is a listed TV or something next to you that allows you to connect to internet. As you do that, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, become a member, and we have super gift that you can actually use if you feel like it. Yeah, we appreciate everyone that gives when we are live, outside of being live, everywhere where we go, and even people who are doing it outside other than here. So we appreciate you guys and people who are subscribing and watching the videos and the adverts. And we see, as we remind you, please do watch the adverts because that is how we get to pay the bills. Remember, this is not our stuff. This is somebody else's stuff, and they also need to get money. The most important thing that you can do for free is watching the adverts, just using your data, if you cannot do any other thing that we have calculated here. But it's greetings, and we still love you like anyone else because you are the reason why we are here. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
No, I'm fabulous. It's Friday. Yes, I'm tired, but I feel like I'm about to get a proper rest.
I had to spend some time doing a little bit more of uncovering the story and unpacking what is going on. Why is Floyd Shivambu leaving the EFF?
Yeah.
And I saw people saying that Julius Malema looked devastated. And I had to look at every angle possible, come up with a proper analysis for you guys. So yes, we will get to that later on, but first let's start with what happened in court today. It was a very short court appearance, okay? And welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again, family. Today's a chilled video. We're not gonna do much of hectic stuff, but yes, it was a brief appearance in court. Nothing much happened. So apparently there were already signs in the morning that the sitting was not gonna take place or be a short one, because Steyn said that he had to leave just as he arrived in the morning. So he's
Isn't it a
handed
sickness of Friday? That is, one might call it. But it is important, and I must say it, I must not downplay the importance of the defense getting their hands in whatever that is coming as new evidence and familiarizing themselves with it. So yes, for the defense, I mean, they are always ambushed, in my opinion, so they need time. It might be used most of the time as an excuse from, I would say, the state, but the defense has to do what they have got to do. There is nothing wrong with what they did. I'm just saying that there's always a new evidence that comes in on Friday, and Friday, then there's a bit of postponement that requires a bit of reading. So that's how it is.
So yeah, Steyn handed in new exhibits. It was a PDF in the Excel spreadsheet, and he said he only had one disk. The judge said that they will label it KK5G. It's a Section 205, the one he says he received from Vodacom, which is different to the one Pinky was testifying on.
Yeah.
So he's trying to tell us that Vodacom gave him a different PDF or Section 205?
That's what is already said. But the problem is that no one was given Section 205, not even Steyn. That's where the problem is. Because, yes, you might have a different one, but Steyn, you are on record contradicting yourself in saying that I was given, I was not given. In fact, more, I was not given this. I was only given by Guinind, not by the Vodacom, the service provider themselves, because of the TSU and all that. So there is no way of Steyn actually debunking the theory that whatever that is given, it could have been edited either way, and then Pinky Fight Fillingham came with an original one. I don't understand why there's this fuss and Steyn believing that this is the original one.
You know, if you have nothing to do with that editing, it could have been easy. You know, sell us that instead. You know, you come up with a different document and it's not what Pinky Fillingham was testifying on. So you're trying to tell us a ghost edited that one that you have in the TSU.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that the problem with Steyn is not only there to clean himself and do what he needs to do, but he tries by all means, for some weird reason, my opinion, I see him all the time trying to go overboard, which is the tendency of most witnesses that came with the states. They try to go overboard.
He's doing too much. He's doing too much.
Yeah, there's a bit of which makes it difficult for him, which makes his stay even be longer there. Maybe he might need to call that wife after all to come, because the problem is that he tries to sway, in my opinion, the narrative as much as he can to protect, in my opinion, I don't know who, God knows, but it seems as if that's what is happening, in my opinion, and it's alleged, obviously, because we don't know anything about it, and I'm gonna put that disclaimer, but that's where the problem is. If you are here to clear things out, clear your things out, but don't go overboard. But this situation of Section 205 being the original format or not, between that one of Pinky and that one of the state, is none of your business. You are supposed to just say that I was given this to work with. This is not what I worked on. Whether one is the original one or this one Pinky came with it. Now that's where the problem starts.
It's like you are acting like someone who has something to hide.
You acting like someone who knows what is going on. Yet when you ask questions, you portray this lack of knowledge, in my opinion. So you are shooting yourself on the foot for trying to, in my opinion, and allegedly defend the indefensible.
Well, the judge also asked Steyn if he received Section 205s for every one of the accused persons from 1 to 5. And Steyn said no. He said he only had those of the people from the house. So Khumalo said that he does not have the disc that Steyn was talking about. Court is already in session, guys.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the disc that Steyn was talking about. And the judge asked him if he never got it before, and asked Baloyi if they did not get it before. And Baloyi said it was referred yesterday, or it was referred to yesterday, meaning Steyn brought it up yesterday. However, he only brought it this morning. So he said it's a real exhibit, but they are marking it as a document just to keep the exhibit of Colonel Steyn together. And the judge asked if it has also been reduced to a document, and Baloyi said that it's just a disc. So the information is only contained in that disc. Steyn said that it's a long one. It won't take an hour if it's duplicated or to go through. So there was an adjournment then between to see if that would never happen. And the judge said that they could view it. And he said that he won't be a part of that viewing. He will be in his chambers. Once they're done, they can call him. And then they came back after some time. And there was an adjournment until Monday that was announced. Khumalo said that he will use today, or rather yesterday, to have viewed the disc. And the judge suggested that there be a sitting from 9 a.m. up until 5 p.m. from next week, Monday and Tuesday. The judge said that the state must speak to the DJP, Deputy Judge President, so that the stenographers knows that he's going to be sitting there on Monday from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And the police as well and the head of the prison. So Monday and Tuesday, he was insisting that they start at 9 in the morning and end at 5. So Baloyi said Steyn would be flying out of the province on Monday morning, and his flight might not be on time, and they might not be able to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. So he suggested that on Monday they start at 10, then they see how they progress. Then on Tuesday, they can make those arrangements to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. So the judge said that he was not aware. He thought that Steyn would be shooting a buck at the Kruger National Park or something like that. I don't know what was that about. It seems like there's a conversation that I don't think I'm a part of Kruger National Park shooting. I don't know what he was talking about. So he also spoke on the reconstructing of records from the 1990s as he was giving his whole stories about how they used to work. So he's saying that some of the cases from the 1990s need to be made electronic or something like that, because now the people that he sentenced in the 1990s want to appeal.
What?
Did you hear that?
They should. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they got arrested. I don't know when they got arrested. But listen, after watching this, you guys should. I mean, it's within your right. Whether you were guilty or not guilty, I don't know.
Well, he said that the sentences, or the people that were sentenced want their appeals, and their records are not there. And he said that you will never find them. So he was talking about how they needed to, or they are working on a system to make them digital.
Surprises that clever people such as this one, as they claim, and they're always trying to prove to each other that they are clever. They have not, at this point in time, since, let's say, 2000, digitalized the system that is very crucial to the society. In fact, the fact that you are going there and even saying they will never find it. So how are these people supposed to appeal if really there's
no record? Even Thabo Bester mentioned it for his court case that he got convicted for in 2011. He was talking about how he wants the records and he can't get access to them.
Yeah.
He wanted them for that old case of his that he is convicted for. And they said to him that they are no longer there or something like that. So they won't give them to him. They are not there. Where did they go?
They grew legs. I mean, someone who's confident about his judgment not being appealable, one would suggest that's what he normally suggests. I mean, it should be available for these people to appeal properly. But from what we have seen here, I mean, honestly speaking, you need to relook at whatever that happened at a time when it happened, because when you are being sentenced, it's a difficult situation. You probably don't hear most of the things. I'm sure you hear one part, how long you're gonna live in that jail. So that's what needs to happen now. You need to sit down and go back and revisit the verdict. This man, in my opinion, if he sentenced me, I would do that.
I would also recommend, just for our family, should anything happen and you find yourself in this confusing time with the law, let someone that you know collect those records as they happen. Give it 2 or 3 days. They should be made available for the day, or just make sure you go to that court leg and request them.
Yes.
Even if it's a magistrate court, whatever, insist on having those transcripts. Just collect them. It's a tiring process, and I heard that they will also pay for them because they print them. Just collect them and keep them. Because look at what is happening now. You will be sitting in jail 5 years. You are thinking, actually, I should appeal. And then when you go back and you ask for the records, they are not available.
Tell you about paperless system that is still going to be coming for many years from now.
Just have them printed out. It's a daunting situation. It's a nerve-wracking situation. You don't know whether you're going to jail. Going to jail or not, just get those transcripts and have them with you. So yes, now we have to move on to talk about what is happening in the EFF. I am so stressed, you guys. I am stressed on behalf of EFF members. I am so stressed. Yeah. I'm not an EFF member, but the movement of Floyd Shivambu is going to change the dynamics of the party, whether we like it or not. He's a very important and crucial member. For me personally, I thought he would be the one who would take over after Julius Malema. But it seems like that will never happen with the move that he just made. So yeah, it's a very painful time and a very confusing time. For those who may not know what we're talking about, the EFF Deputy President Floyd Shivambu decided that he was going to resign, not renew his membership with the EFF. He made this announcement at the press conference on Thursday, and he also had handed in his resignation letter apparently on Wednesday evening to the president of the EFF, Julius Malema. And you saw how heartbroken he seemed. He seemed like he was very much shattered and defeated. Although I have to put respect on how they conducted the whole thing. It was so mature. I don't think I've ever seen a parting of a relationship this peaceful, ever. Usually it's a bloodbath when one member moves from one party to the next. But somehow it was just so peaceful, so mature, so filled with maturity in it, which led many people to speculate and believe that, no, this is a plan. The EFF and MK are going to become one in the future, And I don't know if that is true, but Mr. Anonymous, what do you think? Do you think MK and EFF in the future are going to form one caucus, one political movement, one party?
Look, their ideologies, they are similar, except I think for quite few.
Yes.
I mean,
the
ones, the land one, land expropriation, they are clear there, which is what matters the most. I think where they would tend to differ is how others have felt before, and they still feel today, some of them, that EFF, in their opinion, seems to be prioritizing Africans more than South Africa. Yes, we are Africans, all of us, but it seems as if they are prioritizing Africans. That's what people are saying on the street. So I think that's where they differ, because MK, if you were to look at them, they are more on the side of saying stuff for South African, everything land, that is happening, land resources for South African resources, and that's where
state-owned enterprises.
Seems to me Malema is a person who's got more ambitious in terms of more ambitions in terms of ruling, and I will use rule for Africa. That's where I would say that's where he is, the whole of Africa, which is a good idea. I mean, Gaddafi was also a fan of uniting Africa, not to become a president or whatsoever. But it seems as if Malema is, I mean, you recently, ZANU in Zimbabwe, there's a member there who answered what Malema was calling for in Zimbabwe. He's got more opinion when it comes to other countries, as much as he's got opinion also here in South Africa. But he's got an eye on the issues that are happening outside, like your Swaziland, and other countries. That's where I think, in my opinion, you need to crawl before you walk. There's a reason a kid has to crawl before they walk. In my opinion, that's where the problem is. If you decide to fix one country, such as South Africa, this is a key point of Africa also. There are many countries that are key points of Africa, but South Africa is a key point of also part of those countries that are key points of Africa. So if you can fix it to actually push the ideas that you want to see, such as the ones that are happening in your Burkina Faso and other countries that are currently now rising and saying that it's enough. We've been exploited enough. But you're not going to be able to do that if you do not have control of that country, because that's how many people feel. So Floyd, on the other side, I think he was a brain, and I'm going to say he was a brain, Leonard candidate of EFF. Yes, I know Luz is a doctor, but in terms of things such as economics.
So Floyd studied economics, has a master's in economics. With the Dr. Ndlozi, it's in political science, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
So understanding of politics, which one can argue that it has a bit of economics in its own.
But Shivambu had a
strong view when it comes to the finances, how the finances should be moved around to actually cater for Africa that is fully liberated. That's where Shivambu was at.
And I feel
I'm just going to say this.
Yeah.
If at some point I voted for EFF, I'm going to say it would be because I understood the ideas of Shivambu more than Malema's ideas. I could relate, let me put it like that. I could relate with Floyd.
Because he's an economist.
Yes, is not because of that, but how he made it look simpler. I know many people are saying it was not simple how he normally would explain things, but for me, he made things simpler and understandable. And in fact, it was easy to agree with him. Even the opposite part, I can tell you, there were people who would sit on the opposite bench and say, this guy's got a point. I mean, to such an extent that many people, when there was the government of national unity, which we later knew that it was a coalition.
Yes, Helen Zille said
between DA and ANC. So others are just walking the two. They are holding the candle. But they wanted Floyd to become a finance minister.
Yes.
Many people, whether you are EFF, you wanted Floyd. I wanted him also to become a minister. Unfortunately, they decided, obviously, not unfortunately, it was actually, in my opinion, a good stand to be sitting on the opposite side of the bench, not agreeing with everything that is said on the other side. And I know many people are gonna now, because that's a tendency of Africa, of South Africa. Once you become a darling, immediately you decide to go otherwise, or you decide to go and pursue other stuff that you feel need to be pursued. Then they start now, after for a while they've been protecting you, the issue of VBS. Now you're going to be seeing a lot of people pointing out to VBS, pointing out to a lot of things. But let us forget that. Because the same people that are pointing at VBS, for example, they are not pointing at Steyn.
Which is interesting.
Very interesting. No one is talking about that. I doubt that many people even understand that. We have read it, Emil, right? We have like done proper research on it, but many people, they're gonna be talking about VBS. You know why?
It's VBS.
That's when you see
Malema, EFF, VBS.
Yes.
Oh,
That's when you see people who listen to mainstream media. Because if you do that, obviously you're gonna talk about VBS.
You know, and people don't even have a clue about what Steinhoff has actually done to the economy.
Yes.
People have
no one
idea.
has a clue of what happened with that in terms of how it affects economy.
No.
The same
it's
way
not being covered,
the issue
of about.
The same way the issue of banks,
the rent manipulation.
No one is talking about that, but I can tell you, even today we are paying for it, whether you like it or not. Even today,
they want you to focus on that VBS donation that Matotsi
they
gave
manipulated
them,
the interest. They manipulated almost everything that is saying if you have a loan, if you have a bond, if you have everything. They never readjusted that.
No.
To say, here is what we did. We are taking it out now. So this is where you are supposed to be in terms of paying your bond, in terms of paying your car, in terms of... They never did that.
No.
What they did is they paid them a lousy
fine of 1 million
of millions,
like
and that was it.
That was it.
But the multiple effect of that is still happening even today, and it will even affect you next year.
The allegations that were coming out and saying that it was trillions that they made from manipulating the rand.
And
there were some people coming out of nowhere, out of the woodworks, gaslighting people to say that can't be possible. That is not true. How can you? Do you know how much a trillion is? These people allegedly have been manipulating this rand from 2001 or 2 or something like that. So how can we not believe that there were trillions and trillions and trillions of rands that they profited and pocketed on?
No, you are even reducing it as if it has stopped.
It hasn't stopped, by the way.
It has not.
It has not, because they haven't readjusted for the manipulation that was done.
Yes.
We still remained where they stopped.
They are still making money out of that.
And then they sprinkle this to us people of color. VBS, we focus on Malema stealing 5 million, allegedly.
Yes.
And which is not even the case.
Whatever that happened with that VBS, it was unwarranted. It was wrong.
It was wrong.
If you consider that there were investors that were people of color.
Yes, and they were putting their faith in a black bank.
But also, we must not ignore the very important role that the Reserve Bank would have played in this. Because I doubt an ABSA or an FNB or a Capitec
would have let the bank collapse.
They would have allowed that to happen. You know, I doubt it. But, well, it's a story for another day for that one. But all I'm saying is that Floyd is a smart individual.
Yes.
Who's well articulate. And losing him, those who are saying it's a strategy, I do not understand the strategy.
Yes,
because losing him, there are people who related to Floyd. Let's put it like that. You are taking him, you are putting him in MK. So look at how now MK is made of. It's made of people who are learned. There's law there in the house. There is your economist now in the house. They're gonna be implementing or suggesting policies that are going to be understandable to the people of South Africa. So, in my opinion, I think Floyd leaving, it was good for him. Because, one, if you look at when and how Malema is going to be removed there, it's going to take time for Malema to actually be removed. If he doesn't want to, unless he's the one who says, fine, I want to. So you would have there at some point many people were saying, people who are not EFF members, obviously most, they were saying no, some EFF members, they were saying no, give Floyd a chance. This is time for Floyd to actually. So now with what they are left with, you can argue that there's a lot of grooming that is left for who's gonna take over from Malema. Yes, they are politically involved, these people, they understand, but the level of maturity that Floyd was showing, it cannot be ignored. He was a quality for a president. In fact, I would have actually voted for that.
I think a lot of people share your sentiments to say that they would have voted for the EFF had Floyd Shivambu been the president of it, because I'm even worried about the element of student political involvement and youth, because they were really being attracted to the EFF, especially in universities and stuff like that, and most of them were convinced because of the policies, because of what the EFF was able to draft, and we all know that the brain behind that was Floyd.
Yes, and others, obviously. Let's give others credit. Even Malema would have comes with a lot of experience from ANC, being a president of ANC, former president, ANC Youth League president. It comes with a lot of experience. I mean, he's boasting even that no one that he has supported has ever lost the conference. That you talk about Zuma against Thabo Mbeki.
Malema is a
political tool. Basically, he's a political tool. You can, he's grinding. He's grinding behind it. But
he knows exactly what he's doing.
You need a bit of bureaucracy on the other side as much as you have police. So one might argue that Floyd was the bureaucracy. Yes. And then the political
of
side.
The policies, the paperwork.
Yes. Those are people that we need. And then now you have your MK that has that.
And maybe
considering that they in the meantime are ahead of EFF in terms of numbers, and there is a stereotype that has been following MK that it is a Zulu party.
Yes,
but now with Floyd in the helm, it takes a different shape. That means MK is willing now to penetrate other provinces, even much more better, because already Mpumalanga was on board, which is understandable because it's a mixture of your Nguni speaking and the other people.
Yes, most definitely. So yeah, it has been interesting, the developments that have been taking place, and the position of the deputy president in the EFF is vacant, and now we have to ask ourselves who will be more suitable, or who will fit in this position, because apparently the conference is going to be taking place in December, and I'm also wondering how the EFF is going to go about it, the filling in of this position for deputy president. I hear a lot of people are recommending that Dr. Mpuyiseni Ndlozi become the deputy president. There's nothing wrong with it. He's more than qualified actually to fill in that position. But the steps of going about it, there's an element in the EFF that a lot of people have been criticizing and talking about when it comes to it feeling like a dictatorship, meaning that everything has to pass by their president, the CIC, Julius Malema, before you get any position. It's almost like he handpicks everybody he wants to occupy positions in the EFF. But the strategy now, it seems like he has to give it over to the branches. You understand what I'm saying? Just to demystify that aspect of him where he's being accused of being called a dictator. Maybe this time around, to fill in this position of deputy president, he should maybe give the responsibility to the branches and the EFF members and make it run the way the ANC does. I don't know whether that could work or what in demystifying this whole thing of saying that the EFF is like a cult and Julius is a dictator. What do you think?
Look, I'm just gonna, I think I have two sides of this. The first one is that South Africans, general, in fact, a country that was to be run properly. This is where, if they say Malema is a dictator, I would agree with his ideas in terms of that part. Mm-hmm. One might call it an iron fist or whatever, but I would agree because, you see, I still don't believe there's something called democracy.
You still don't believe
At some point, you have to grab the bull by its horn. And then do what you need to do. Take that decision, whether painful or not. You need to take the decision.
Yeah, you need to stamp your authority sometimes. And yes, I even heard something very interesting a couple of weeks back, that there's a democracy and then there's a half democracy. What do I mean, like a half democracy? Apparently the thing, we are called a republic. I've always wondered, why are we called a republic? So apparently when there's a republic in front of a name of a country, like for us, for instance, I always see it when the sports are playing, your rugby and your soccer overseas, there's RSA. And I'm thinking to myself, why are we called a republic? So Republic of South Africa. Apparently that's not a full democracy. What we have is a half democracy. And how this half democracy works is that, yes, the majority can rule, but the minority cannot be oppressed by the majority. Do you understand what I'm saying? With a democracy, a full-on democracy, majority rules. But with a republic, there is an aspect of the minority having some form of control, or having full control sometimes, right? And it doesn't feel completely like the majority are taking over, the majority are ruling. So I've never understood why we call the republic. So after I watched that small snippet of a video, I think I saw it on TikTok, of that man explaining, and it's from way back, like in the 60s or something. He was explaining what a republic is. It blew my mind. I was like, okay, now I get why we are in this position in South Africa, where it feels like black people are going nowhere slowly. It's because of this condition that we are in, right? So yeah, I also don't believe that we are in a full democracy, because of what just happened. Look at what just happened with the elections, for example. I don't think we are in a full democracy. Somehow the minority has more power than the majority, even though the majority did not give them that power. So it doesn't even matter whether who we give our power to. That's what it's giving, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just feel like CIC has to change his approach in December, right? Try to make it an EFF thing, where the EFF members feel like they have control of who they want to put as the deputy president, instead of him like enforcing it and picking whoever. Maybe we'll pick Dr. Ntuli and say, you become the deputy president, and the train goes on. Maybe he should try an approach of maybe not being so involved.
I don't think that he's gonna pick Ntuli.
Why?
There was this, I don't know what we call it. Some people said that there was this instance where I think Floyd is the one who brought Ntuli there. So there was another instance where
he might
allegedly, where Malema was like, "Oh, you brought us someone who doesn't have any political background." So I don't think, if you want a strong party, considering the things that are happening in South Africa, where you can be bought easily, you would want someone who doesn't look like or doesn't portray certain leadership skills that you need. In terms of Ntuli is a good leader, good comrade, one might argue, a very learned one, in fact.
Yes.
But I don't think at this point in time, in my opinion, he's ready to swim with the big fishes. The big fishes being a deputy president of the EFF. It would be a wrong move. Maybe for the ground, Lozi could be used there at this point in time to understand the politics. Because remember, Floyd is got the background also of ANC. He comes from he came with Malema from ANC, and they at the time they were working the ground.
Yes.
So they have paid their due diligence
Yes.
in terms of working the ground. So I think at this point, I don't think you need someone who's not showing the qualities of being strong. No, I don't think so. So let's see, maybe someone from outside.
And also this whole thing of the VBS scandal, some people are wondering whether it had an effect on Floyd Shivambu resigning. And I will try and explain this whole VBS thing in a simple way so that people can understand why some of us are like, ugh. Because we've heard of worse corruption, and it's disappointing to see that there's no attempt to help our people understand the level of loss we've incurred from such corruption. And we are just being baited to now turn our backs on the only leaders of color we have because they are implicated in corruption. But when you compare the level, it's really like comparing an ant and an elephant. The size of the corruption in Steyn is huge. And then when you look at the EFF and what they're being accused of, it literally feels like, okay, now we are being made to abandon the leadership of color that we have, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right that we don't know much about the details of Steinhoff corruption and what had happened there, Marcus Euster and everything. The media didn't go full force like they are now hammering this whole VBS situation. And by the way, it keeps getting resurrected every now and again. It's like a one-trick pony. The first time when I heard about it, I honestly thought that the EFF went to VBS and looted money, because that's how it's being put in the media. It's like, okay, bangenile VBS, and they started bribing everyone, and it was just a whole lot of mess, and they took money from people, and that's how they painted it to us. So right now, even in the media, there's reports that Floyd Shivambu's departure is, cued or clouded by the allegations that they may face charges relating to the VBS Mutual Bank scandal involving accusations of corruption, large-scale looting. Chifiwa Matodzi released an affidavit that got leaked a couple of weeks ago. I had an opportunity of reading specifically the page where the EFF was implicated. And the central figure of this VBS scandal is this Chifiwa Matodzi. He was a chairperson or chairman of VBS Bank at the time. And he was sentenced to 15 years or 15 charges or something like that were going to run concurrently. But I don't know in total how many years he was going to be sitting in jail. I forgot. So he had a witness statement leaked. And this statement suggested prima facie evidence that both Shivambu and Malema were involved in a scheme to defraud EVBS and his clients. So the allegations that they claimed that they used illicit proceeds to fund extravagant lifestyles, acquire properties, leaving many, including pensioners, devastated as their savings were lost. So when I read the affidavit, I actually found out that the EFF were not the ones who necessarily looted per se. So I was very shocked when I read that affidavit, because for many years I believed that they were looting, they were taking money from VBS and not paying it back. So what had happened is that they were the ones who discovered that VBS was giving money allegedly to the ANC, and some of that money allegedly was used to build that home for former state president Zuma in Nkandla, right? Then Matodzi offered the EFF people allegedly a bribe of 5 million first payment for them to let it go because they were making noise about it in the media. Right? And then it is being alleged that the EFF took the money, the first initial 5 million layer, they took it. And then Matodzi then said it became money. They disguised it as what? A donation.
Yeah.
Right? And they put this donation in Floyd Shivambu's brother's business account. So I was like, why are we being made to believe that they actually went in VBS and started looting money? Because now it sounds like it was Matodzi covering himself here, right?
In fact, one can still, I mean, even if that did happen, let's say it did, if it did, they can still say it was then given to them as a form of donation. They've got nothing. They didn't know of the dealings that were happening inside. So basically, EFF, if you look at this case, there's nothing against EFF. Well, media might find solid evidence.
They keep every 2-3 years they bring it back. Every 2-3 years, and it's like new information. It's like new stuff. So when you find out that actually these people just took money allegedly,
it does not even give them even a 1% chance of arresting EFF leaders. It does not, in my opinion. It just someone venting, in my opinion. It can be called that. It's someone who's venting, nothing else. But then if you don't read those things, then you listen to what mainstream media is saying, then you're gonna believe there's prima facie case to answer for in this.
And I'm sure there will be some who throw the comments here and be like, no, but they stole money. They stole money. They stole money.
Yeah, you'll get that, and then mostly it will be an opposition party that believes that this party should fall. Obviously, there's always an opposition party that believes that each party that is against them should fall. So they will try to create or have that narrative, or even in make it look solid. It's conspiracies that are happening, and it is.
And what if Matodzi was just saying this, but then Polly van Wyk claims to have proof of all these transactions?
Even if they happened, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. What proof do they have that there was a payment of bribery? What proof do they? Because that would be the cause. Now, you find the money, you trace the money, but you have a proof then it was a bribery.
No.
So it's your word against EFF. So therefore, that evidence is just hearsay evidence that someone could be colluding with an opposition. It could be attributed to a political attack or anything else.
Okay. So the media reports and allegations are now coming out that Shivambu wanted to challenge the party's leadership, and that led to the relationship breaking down. This article was published on Thursday. That's like a day before yesterday, the 15th of August, on the day that the EFF held that media conference to announce Floyd's resignation. And it is a wild allegation. So I don't know if it's very true or what, or it's just an allegation. We don't know. But City Press has been reliably told that the EFF second in command resigned following a fallout with a firebrand party leader, Julius Malema. The source, who is a member of the party's top structure, said that Floyd sent his letter of resignation to the party's Secretary General on Wednesday night. And according to the source, Shivambu was approached by a group of wealthy business people who allegedly promised him a lot of money to fund his campaign to contest Malema at the party's elective conference in December. So Shivambu had allegedly agreed to accept the offer. all hell broke loose after Malema apparently got wind of what Shivambu was up to.
Listen to that.
I don't
to that. Do you think Floyd, at this point in time, looking at where and understanding what that has done to their former party, in terms of accepting these so-called injections of political support, if you know what that means. So do you think Floyd will be tempted to accept such, and with the so-called accusation of VBS while they are still hot?
I don't know.
I doubt that would be the case, but maybe contestation might have happened at some point where Floyd might have contested Malema. There were times where Malema would come gun blazing, saying that
giving that gala dinner of the EFF.
You cannot be in a contestation with me and win. I think those were the times where maybe a relationship might have been tainted at some point, because there were people, EFF members, who were saying, actually, we want you, Floyd, to stand for us. But in terms of money, this makes then EFF look good, in my opinion. This makes them look cleaner to say that we cast out the person who's taking capitalism money, which is what they always preach on. So I doubt that will be the case.
And also there's this other factor of MK. Apparently people there are volunteering. So many people, I heard, had left the ruling party because they were under the impression that they were going to enter MK, get positions and get paid. Allegedly. So now
for any new party, there is an opportunity, and there are opportunistic elements that would now and then show themselves to they want to come and take it. Does happen, Emily. I mean, if you look at ANC as an old party, the list of candidates is long. Then a new party that is fairly new, everyone is starting from the clean slate. So there are people who are power hungry, and they will come to that party. And when they realize, they will obviously go back. And then looking at this seasoned politician of Zuma, he gave them temporal positions. He never, even from the word go, he never gave them permanent positions. He gave them temporal position, and the confliction between people who are supposed to be holding those who are in parliament accountable was dealt with, to say that if you are on the other side, you cannot be an MP in a parliament. So you choose your battles properly. It's either we hold you accountable as an MP, or you are outside holding the MPs accountable.
Okay, so now I think you should open the lines. I need a body break as well.
Let us hear. I see many people.
Yeah, the chat is buzzing. And also the aspect of Mzwanele Manyi. Can you also discuss that, as I'm going to go and go to body break? I ask for permission, Bazalwan. I'll be back.
Okay. Let us hear you guys, what you have to say. This is your chance now to tell us. I see Elizabeth is a diehard DFF member, which is not a problem. You can say whatever that you need to say. And I know many people are going to say this is a strategical move for EFF one day to have. But it seems as if the other one is eating the other one. The smaller one, the new one, not the smaller one, because one might argue that they had more voters. The new one is swallowing the older one, which is EFF. So in my opinion, I'm not sure of which one is which. Maybe one might argue that others, they suspect that maybe Floyd is sent to destroy, destabilize the MK allegedly internally, which would be, if it was true, very sad story, because we need these parties. who are seemingly fighting for people of South Africa. I'm going to put it like that on purpose. But please call us and tell us what you think. The lines are open. I'm all ears. I'm listening. Tell me what you think. It has come to pass. It's no longer a secret that Floyd is jumping the ships. He's going on the other side where there is greener pastures, one might say, in terms of their colors also. These greener pastures. From the red side, while others are feeling that, okay, maybe Malema should have given him a chance, considering that they have built up to this point in time, and the party seems to be losing votes. And well, Malema did explain it to say that these votes were not theirs to begin with. It was people who were tired of ANC, and they said, no, we want a new home. Just because we don't have anywhere to go, which part can relate with us? And then they saw EFF as the closer one, and then those people went there, and most of them, one even argued that they mostly were Zuma supporters. So when he opened the party, then they jumped the ship. So basically he was saying he never lost anything. These were people that were not theirs to keep in any case. They have found their home. So I don't know. What do you think? Maybe the problem now might be that not only them, even one of their leaders, prominent leaders of EFF, has found home that side. And he was clear to say that I'm not chasing after any position. But well, we know very well you cannot not use Floyd to actually create a magnet for people. I mean, MK, it would be a miscarriage to have such. So let us hear what you guys have to say. If you have anything else to say, please call us. Elizabeth, I see you are boiling. Please call us and tell us what you think. In Parliament, we need robust people. Floyd is going to assist. Yes, it will be a miscarriage to not have him there. Maybe though they have other plans. Maybe they want him to take Zuma's position, strategic position. I mean, he's very strategic. He was strategic even for EFF. Maybe that's what they want him to do. So imagine Floyd and Zuma cooking whatever they are cooking. Politics, something on the other side. So we are about to see one hell of a party, if you ask me, if things are gonna stay like this. Zwanele Manyi was always gonna leave EFF. It's like Carl. I know he's busy now saying that, hey, I'm not leaving. I don't know, man. I feel like some things where you should expect them. Maybe even the reason why EFF didn't give him any prominent position, it's because of that. So if he doesn't leave, he's also a seasoned politician. He's gonna be able to assist Malema in any case. I think he's gonna need all the comrades that have experience when it comes to this. Yeah, let us, guys, can someone explain how Matodzi offered EFF bribe to stop them from raising their voice against Zuma, and EFF accepted this? Isn't that corruption? No, I doubt that that's where we are going. We never said if that happened, and obviously still remains to be proved. It's not obvious like any other cases that we have that are already on the wrong side. This one still remains to be proved. It must be proved that happened. That's what I was trying to explain. So if there was a bribe and there is a proof that this was a bribe, then they've got a case to answer for. But at this point in time, someone injecting money into any political party is not crime. considering that there are people who are getting up to 40 million. It's not crime. It's not like you know the books. You went in and stole. No, you didn't. Someone inside who's the CEO, who's an accountant of that company, decided to give you money. One might argue that there might be a motive behind that money. We are not running away from that. But I'm saying that the way it is portrayed already, it is persecution through media. Let us make them look guilty until they are guilty. That's the problem, and that's how it has been used all along. This is where we have a problem with mainstream media, because the way they report is like already there is verdict. So I don't know. I don't know. My opinion, MK is going to even expand further, because accepting such a prominent leader from a prominent part such as EFF, the other provinces who were in line with what Floyd stands for, then they are going to jump the ship. They are going to jump the ship. But what matters is that these two parties are a force that anyone needs to reckon with. We must have such, in my opinion, such parties. Some things are questionable when they are done, more so to parties that are older. And you start asking yourself questions. Is this for people or just to, those are the things that, but we do. Anyone can agree that we do need noise on the other side. At least that seems to be portraying the feelings of people on the ground, because we hear a lot of our people when DA is talking, but everyone is always asking themselves, like you notice in that court, who's that people? Who's those people? Where are those people coming from? Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, if you always visit court, then you most likely gonna eventually rule the country. So that now eliminates democracy. In my opinion, these courts interfering to some of the things, it eliminates democracy. That I don't believe in any case. I believe in one way of leading, a leader that takes decisions. Yes, we will blame you when you are gone, but the matter of fact is that the country will be stable and you will not be swayed by any country. And that's a problem that we have in Africa. Leaders that are led. We don't want leaders that are led. That's why when we see someone who's portraying signs of being a revolutionist, we get excited when we see someone who's speaking more about Pan-Africanism. Look at, for example, the issue of who's this guy from Johannesburg, who's in Gauteng, Panyaza. I mean, even people who are not ANC, they seem to reckon with Panyaza currently because of what he stands for. That means people are hungry for people that are going to speak for them. That's where the problem is. But guys, I see no one is willing to say, I put my hand up and I want to say something. It was nice to be here. And I mean, I can continue talking as much as I can. But truth of the matter is, we need other people's opinion. It is not interesting to hear the sound of my voice. I need others to say, this is what we think. Elizabeth is saying, one country, one robust leader, one currency. Africa is rich in minerals. Yes, but are you going to force these countries? Because you see, that's where the problem is. You have countries that have been infiltrated by the money. They've accepted money. How are you going to detach them if the leaders are in charge on the other countries? I mean, you can do that in South Africa. Let's start, for example, with Zimbabwe. Look at what ZANU is saying. Look at how ZANU is responding. When last did those people lose their position? If they did those who won live to see what they fought for? Those are the things that you need to look at. So you cannot say you want to unite Africa in South Africa. That's where the problem is. You need to have these countries working hand in hand. For example, in Swaziland, there the ruling is totally different. There's a king there. One can argue the king is not political. The king is just running what I have a problem with leaders, generally, political leaders. I have a very serious problem. I believe, in my opinion, we should be led by kings. And how kings lead, normally, they do listen to you, but they take decisions, firm decisions. And people who fought during those times, those hard times, most of them, they were from kings. No one is talking about that. Yes, at some point, those kings were made to kill each other because that's what money does. They come to you, they tell you, we will support you. Go fight so and so. But then, that's how it is. So, we need to have whatever that is happening in Burkina Faso and other countries that are following that line. How long is it going to take us? Are we even going to live to see that happening? If it will ever happen, because we are divided as hell. You can try to unite us, but there's always that problem of we are now controlled by money. Money talks. So, those are the questions that I leave you with. Take your time, think about them. You can dream big and dream of having one president. It's not limited. How many countries do we have in Africa? Some countries have military base of other countries that we don't want. And how are you gonna, how are you gonna go to those people? Use the democracy because what democracy does, it makes you weaker. You have to negotiate for everything. Guys, please, may you please let go of those people. Please, we believe you. We hear what you're saying. We understand. But please, that's how democracy is run. If you fail to do that, then you face the law, international law. Look at what it got Gaddafi to. They tried. There's always someone inside Africa that is going to sell out. There's always someone who's going to do that. So, I don't know. That's it for me, guys. It's a bye. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode that is short, in my opinion, and sweet. Please like the video, share the video. I think no one is calling today because they are indulging in diluted waters. That's what I see here, and I'm gonna interpret it like that when I refill. And that Africa have history of violence, difficulty, etc. Africa hates each other. Yes, maybe we do. Maybe we do. Ramaphosa needs to give Katie Mackenzie a chance to lead the country in absentia. Maybe for a month. Yeah. All the deals and the mines that are ran on other countries will terminate immediately, with immediate effect, and then certain people will lose money, because that's what you must also understand. These things, there's always a link from one country to another for certain reasons. So that's why, in my opinion, they would turn a blind eye. This is Laura. Before you want to open borders, please visit some of other African countries. Yes, Elizabeth, other countries will help Africa to prosper, but if Africans are really in need, you must pick a side. There's always a side in these things. You can never be in isolation, otherwise you'll be squashed. You must always pick a side. You must always think of what are the repercussions. Pointing just to point you in a simple look at what is happening in Ukraine. You choose. You pick a side. Pick that side, you stand by that side. Otherwise, then your life is over. Yes, they are. Okay, this is the end, guys. Thank you very much for being with us, and like the video and share the video. This is the bye from me. I'm moving like that because Nami, when I refill, I'm going to now indulge in my purified water, 100% water. I know everyone has, but I don't drink, guys. I don't drink. So I will I will just drink water and then make sure that I get a proper sleep. It has been a week that is full of ups and downs, but mostly I would say the defense in Senzo Meyiwa's case so far, it looks promising. It's a buy from me. Someone is saying nobody's talking about Orania. Who's gonna talk about Orania? It's a democratic country. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. What can I say? Paul Manjani, Mr. Anonymous is laughing. Yes, Kulegani, we also don't drink. Siqeda isingisi. Oh, but we don't drink with isingisi. Yeah, much. If only dreams were a reality. Yeah, that is net. Tembelani Kanye and Sizwe Mgago was here. Sizwe 18 now. Mami was here. Tabiwa was also here. Elizabeth was very vocal today. Refilwe and Lola was also here. And Kulegani, I'm not sure if I've mentioned you. We thank you guys for being here and watching all those adverts. All those adverts. CD Anna Muhapi saying good morning family, I'm joining late. This is our member. Let us see who we are missing here. Togozi Silanga. EFF must not apply attendance of COPE AIFP PAC to accept their expiry date. We need to build this country. Join the progressive movement. They are part of the progressive movement, if I'm not. Yeah, they are. The problem is, as much as you join those movements, remember you still remain a part. You must not allow yourself to be eaten. That's where I think you must draw the line. That's where the problem is. And always, if you put many compounds, there's bound to be a bit of explosives there and there. I think this situation is going to sort itself out, because now the question is, if this is happening, how is EFF going to then trust MK in any case? They're now going to be thinking about trying to overcome the situation, and how can they take their one enemy down. That's how I look at it. Colin Vavidal, thank you very much. Katid, thank you. You are here. And let's see. Sfiso Sindane, you slept early. We were talking politics. Z, good morning, Matt. Plus 2 hours. Priestley, someone loves money and and it might cost him someone career. That's what someone is saying. That is Priestley. I'm not sure you're referring to. Okay, or you're afraid of naming. Lindy, good evening, family. Charlie Darwin. David, thank you. Mambush, thank you. Mulilo, thank you. Charity Mbonani, thank you. And yeah, that's basically how I decide to end this show. CN Poker, thank you for being with us here, and I hope you enjoyed your Friday. It is Saturday now, and yeah. yeah. I know people don't wanna sleep. It's nje kunjalo. That's how it is. But mina, I'm tired because I've been working as hard as I can to bring you Senzo Meyiwa's case. I hope you enjoy your morning until the next video. Thank you.